Hi everyone, welcome back to Pages of the Globe. Today I'm going to be reading to you the short story called How to Eat a Guava by Esmeralda Santiago. Now this short story is from a book called When I Was a Puerto Rican. Now in this story, the narrator is in her local grocery store and she is examining the guavas. And she tells us how to eat a guava, and she explains to us how when she used to live in Puerto Rico, she was almost an expert at eating them. And she shows us how when you're eating a guava, you have to be careful not to hit the seeds, and you have to bite into the skin and peel it off. You can tell that the narrator, because she makes it very clear, that there is a major difference between herself now as an adult and as a child she used to be. She also sets up that she and her mother are very different from each other, and this suggests that as a child, she saw that there was a great deal of distance between her and her mother. And if you were to actually read the book, you could see that the author shows that throughout more stories. Today, you can tell that the guavas are a reminder of the identity that this person doesn't really have anymore. And rather than to connect to her past by eating these guavas, she chooses to eat the predictable fruit like pears and apples. Now, before we get too much into the story, I'm going to tell you a couple facts about the author Esmeralda Santiago. Esmeralda Santiago was born in 1948. She is a Puerto Rican author known for her narrative memoirs and transcultural writing. Her impact extends beyond cultivating narratives as she paves the way for more coming-of-age stories about being a Latina in the United States, alongside navigating cultural dissonance through acculturation. So Santiago attended junior high in Brooklyn, and once she graduated high school and the Performing Arts High School, she attended community college, and then she earned a full scholarship from Harvard, where she received her undergraduate degree and graduated magna cum laude in 1976. When I Was a Puerto Rican was written in 1993, and it takes an autobiographical approach to Santiago's childhood. It details her life from early childhood and stops her departure from Puerto Rico at age 13. When I Was a Puerto Rican was published in 1993. Without further ado, let's get on to the story. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below which short story you would like to hear next. How to Eat a Guava from When I Was a Puerto Rican by Esmeralda Santiago. There are guavas at the shop and save. I pick one the size of a tennis ball and finger the prickly stem end. It feels familiarly bumpy and firm. The guava is not quite ripe. The skin is still a dark green. I smell it and imagine a pale pink center, the seeds tightly embedded in the flesh. A ripe guava is yellow, although some varieties have a pink tinge. The skin is thick, firm, and sweet. Its heart is bright pink and almost solid with seeds. The most delicious part of a guava surrounds the tiny seeds. If you don't know how to eat a guava, the seeds will end up in the crevices between your teeth. When you bite into a ripe guava, your teeth must grip the bumpy surface and sink into the thick, edible skin without hitting the center. It takes experience to do this, as it's quite tricky to determine how far beyond the skin the seeds begin. Some years, when the rains have been plentiful and the nights cool, you could bite into a guava and not find many seeds. The guava bushes grow close to the ground, their branches laden with green then yellow fruit that seem to ripen overnight. These guavas are juicy and large, almost seedless, their roundness enticing you to come have one more, just one more, because next year the rains may not come. As children, we didn't always wait for the fruit to ripen. We raided the branches as soon as the guavas were large enough to bend the branch. A green guava is sour and hard. You bite into it at its widest point because it's easier to grasp with your teeth. You hear the skin, meat, and seeds crunching in your head, while the inside of your mouth explodes in little spurts of sour. You grimace, your eyes water, and your cheeks disappear as your lips purse into a tight O. But you have another and then another, enjoying the crunchy sounds, the acid taste, the gritty texture of the unripe center. At night, your mother makes you drink castor oil, which she says tastes better than a green guava. That's how you know for sure that you're a child and she has stopped being one. I had my last guava on the day we left Puerto Rico. It was large and juicy, almost red in the center, and so fragrant that I didn't want to eat it because I would lose the smell. All the way to the airport, I scratched at it with my teeth, making little dents in the skin, chewing small pieces with my front teeth so I could feel the texture against my tongue, the tiny pink pellets of sweet. Today I stand before a stack of dark green guavas, each perfectly round and hard, each $1.59. The one in my hand is tempting. It smells faintly of late summer afternoons and hopscotch under the mango tree. But this is autumn in New York, and I am no longer a child. The guava joins its sisters under the harsh fluorescent lights of the exotic fruit display. I push my cart toward the apples and pears of my adulthood, and their nearly seedless ripeness, predictable and bittersweet. The end.